So you got your foam roller, you got your heavier PT band, and then you've got your yoga strap. We're going to just start out with just a pre-assessment, yeah, just to see what your forward fold looks like. And so I'm just going to have you just fold and kind of keep your knees straightish and just notice where you're at. And that's in standing. If you're feeling, we're going to get down to the ground, so you might as well on your mat too, taking your legs long and just see where your forward fold is at this morning. And then you're going to sit tall. Okie doke. We're going to take our yoga straps. The yoga strap is just in case that you're not the most flexible person, which you might be. If you're super flexible and you know it, you might not use it. But otherwise, it helps us get to our foot. And we're going to use the stretchy strap a little bit at the beginning. But first, we're going to start out with our foam roller work, and we're gonna do some neural glides today. And so we're gonna work on our mostly our sciatic nerve. So I'm gonna have you take your hands to your legs, and you're going to do, I think we've done this, it's been a long time. It's almost like you're itching the back of your leg. I'm gonna chorus girl my legs so you can see what I'm doing. Don't do this because your hamstring will be on stretch and then it won't work as well. But you're like kneading your leg. You're going squeeze left, squeeze right, squeeze left, squeeze right. So your fingers are going all the way down the middle line, all the way up to your sits bones. And that, like I said, is coursing along your sciatic nerve. So you're giving yourself a neural massage. Now, here's the thing about hamstrings is I would bet we're active people here online, and you may have some hamstring issues, edema from injuries. Of course, if we injure our hamstrings, we've got to get them strong. We have to get them strong right away, doing some strong eccentric work. But a lot of times we lay off and that edema just kind of pulls up there and that's there kind of forever, a little bit. So we're just kind of working through that. Now, nerves like space movement and blood supply. So as we release some of that edema, then that nerve can just be a happier nerve. The reasons why we might have edema in our leg is, our nobody's hips here is 22 years old. So, you may have a little bit of good old Arthur in that hip, or if you're like me and you sure have got that labral tear thing going on there, get a kink every time I do a side plank, and that can bring a little bit of edema into the leg. And we are not meant to be perfect. We are meant to have bumps and bruises and little tears and be able to do our things. So now I'm just smoothly going through that sciatic nerve there with my hands. I'm going to take my foam roller. I'm going to foam roll that hamstring now and foam roll with that sciatic nerve. So foam rolling the hamstring, and I do like blocks to go underneath my shoulders so that I'm not quite cranking my shoulders up in the air. Bring the ground closer to us. Why not, right? You have these lovely yoga blocks there. There we go. I'm just rolling through that, going all the way up to the ischial tuberosity, that sits bone where the hamstrings attach. And we are doing hamstrings for sciatic nerve. And go out to the left a little bit here. Go into the right part of the hamstring, rather. Sorry about that. I can say things like lateral and medial, and you guys know that vocabulary by now, I'm sure. You have between 3 and 5 hamstrings. The correct answer is three. But there's a little one, little half a that I call hamstring number 4, the short head of the biceps femoris. And that is on the outer kind of last third of your hamstring. Just give that a little zhoosh there. I'll go ahead and come off it. Now you're going to grab your stretchy band, come onto your back. Stretchy band's going to go underneath your foot here. If you want to just watch me for a moment, it's going to go around your foot and we crisscross it. I'm going to go onto the back. And you're going to just kind of pump your legs straight up into the air into that band. And sometimes There is just a little bit of a derby, like a zhoosh on that. And can you work the ankle too? So if you've been watching, you can go ahead and come down. So you're bending and straightening, knee, hip, and ankle, coming into straight up to the ceiling with the toe point and then bending it, coming up. Can you cross your leg? So take your leg over a little bit to the right and do this. And then can you take your legs straight up in the air and do just a few as you're pumping, like a little figure eight-ishness. And then let that go. And have you sit up. Before we go to the other side, we're going to do that fun science experiment again, taking legs along and just see how that feels. No judgments in your body, but I will say my right leg, I just feel tight. And the left one is the one I've been working on. And we haven't really stretched that hamstring. So interesting. Let's go ahead and work on the other side now. Again, starting out with that little kind of almost like an itch down down your midline there, taking your muscles and you're just pulling it left, right, left, right, left, right. Oddly enough, I do this for patients, and I always tell my patients this is the one massage thing that actually feels better if you do it instead of if I do it. And I say, there, you're right. That is a nice thing to do when you're sitting for a long time. Just give your, if you have back pain too, it can be nice for back pain. I'm just pulling that hamstring left, right, left, right, left, right, creating space along the midline as I'm doing it just a little bit. And then we're going to move on to that foam roller. And just rolling that out. Where's my blocks? There's my blocks. Remembering to breathe here. And turning your leg in, turning your leg out. And then, like I said, between 3 and 5 hamstrings. And don't forget to get number 4, that little outer bottom part. And the 5th one is an inner thigh, if you're confused. If you're a physical therapist and it's like, I'm pretty sure there's only 3. Well, I'm counting also the adductors too. We're all physical therapists to some extent, right? All right. And then letting that go. I'm working on it or glide pumps. Just keep that foam roller handy to be front of the mat. Sometimes it works for a nice prop throughout our practice. Taking that band, stretchy band, and if you know where we're going with that, well, and you can go down and get started. But once again, you are bending knee, ankle, and hips so you're curled up like a ball, and then you're straightening your ball. And we're just going to do about 30 of these or 20 of these. And we're not tied into form here. We're not tied into slow controlled movement. This is just nerves like space movement and blood supply. I think that's about 10. And then going across your body with this. So taking your right leg crossing midline and then taking it straight up in the air and then doing just a little bit of a figure 8. And sometimes that feels different on one leg compared to the other. Now, you should not be doing this in a zone where your eyebrows are wiggling. If they're wiggling, you're doing it too intensely. Just stay gentle compared to that. Take both legs long here, flat back, and from here, hinging forward. Just notice what you feel. And I wish I could just show you a picture of what my back's doing compared to the both, because I have a lot more range of motion. And you might be in that club as well. Gas pedal 1 foot, gas pedal the other foot. Let's sit tall here. Let's be in Dandasana for a moment. And I'm going to cue Dandasana a little bit more than I often do. So draw your chin back. Squeeze your shoulder blades together just slightly. Engage your glutes. Push your heels into the ground. So intensity in your legs here. Be mindful about what your ankles are doing. Maybe an intense bent ankle. Breath in. From here, we'll go into a seated forward fold with active legs. Just notice what you feel in your legs. Again, you don't need to go deep. Nothing is solved ever by forcing in yoga. The only time where that works is my coffee press. Breath in, exhale, sink in just a little bit more. Keeping the strap handy. You're going to take your rigid yoga strap, that is. Take your right foot, you're going to bring it up and over. Take right arm high, you're going to bring it behind you, left elbow to the outside of right knee, tall spine. And let's rotate into this. Take your chin in. So we've got a tall, straight neck spine here. Look over your right shoulder, nod your head yes, and then shake your head no. You might want to do some jaw wiggles as well. Breath in. And exhale, we're going to twist the opposite direction. So you're going to bring the left hand down and right hand down. Gaze down at your left hand, nod your head yes, shake your head no. My blocks are on the left and right in the middle of the mat. We are going to be moving front to back, left to right here. So just kind of placing them conveniently so they can be grabbed from either section. Now there's two ways to do this next move. It's kind of a tricky little hip stretch here. You can do this with your hand planted on the ground, coming up into a side plank with your sole of your right foot planted down. That works well in my body. If it doesn't work as well in yours, try staying on elbows here. You're working a little bit of activation more so than stretch. Breath in. Exhale, let's take 10 fingers down to the ground. We're going to rotate to the left here, coming into our prone eagle, or we could call that posterior capsule stretch. So let's go back up again. You're going to crisscross your legs as you twist. There you go. And you'll just land. You'll land in your capsule stretch, sinking your hips back. I'm just going to kind of scooch myself, centering myself on my mat, sinking your hips back. This should open up those bar muscles that you worked on, bar class, not going to the bar. Although this, maybe this will work that out too. I don't know. Breath in, breath out. Take your right foot forward, coming into your pigeon. We'll just sink into this and just find some release here. The posterior capsule stretch was really your medicine. You can go ahead and stay there. I'm not going into a very deep pigeon here. Getting some more nerve glides here by pushing your torso tall. Take your right leg out to the side, coming into your half froggy. You're going to bend and straighten your left leg, getting some nerves on the front of the thigh. Just a little bit of a stretch here. And you're going to go left and right now. These are femoral nerves that we're gliding here. Femoral obturator, front side nerves, not back side nerves, but these are all connected to your same, they're connected to your up to your head. So getting resilience through the system is important. Bringing left leg straight. Use your arms to push your chest high. You're going to come into left knee down to the ground. Right foot steps forward, blocks to assist here as we sink forward in your Anjaneyasana. And today I'm going to encourage movement. Sometimes it's nice to just sink into that. But let's go ahead and experiment a little bit with movement. Slow and controlled here. We're going to go deep into that Anjaneyasana. Squeeze shoulder blades together. Lift your chin just slightly. Exhale, bring chin to chest, sink your hips back, coming into a half split, so maybe a figure eight of your right foot. Sink weight forward and let weight come back. Let's sink weight forward and sink your weight back, finding your figure eight. Maybe because it feels good, let's bring sole of the right foot to the ground and right underneath your right knee. Blocks go off to the mat, easily accessible, left and right, taking 10 fingers high. Maybe we twist to the right, reaching back or gazing back to your right fingertips, tuck tail under. You're finding a stretch to the front of your right thigh. We've done no cat cow, and that's a wonderful nerve glide. So we better do that now. We're going to cartwheel hands down to the left. Take your right leg out into its kickstand position. So right leg is straight-ish, and you're going to tuck and release your pelvis here. 10 fingers down to the ground. They can be down to a block. It can feel good to sink your hips back toward your left heel. It can feel good to bend your right knee and go way over to the right. Bringing the soles of both, or bringing both knees down to the ground, coming into some frog pose here, sinking your weight forward and back. Toes point out in your frog pose. If you prefer to find child's pose, go ahead and do that. Breath in. Breath out. We're going to do a little bit of a shift here, coming into mermaid. So bring your right shin parallel with the short edge of the mat to your left. A right shin parallel with that, left shin parallel with the long edge. Shimmy your hips left and right here. And it's nerve glide day. So hands behind you. We're going to pick up one leg, let the other leg follow. There are other things that you really want to do in your um, mermaid here or your Z sit. You go ahead and you find that. Bring soles of both feet together, finding your cobbler's pose, flat back, hands wrap around your feet here, and let's hinge forward. Press in, breath out. Staying right here if this is good medicine for you, maybe coming into a boat pose. And how does this fit into our practice today? Because we know that if we have stability in our front abdominal support here, our kind of back does more what we want it to. We can work on having stability in the front, and then we have maybe a little bit less kind of like a curvature in our low back. Sometimes that's good for nerves. Short distance between 2 points is a straight line. So sometimes making that belly strong can kind of flatten out that anterior pelvic tilt. Okay, from here, you're going to take your right leg long, take your yoga strap, take it over your left leg. Okay. You're going to hold it around your left foot, bring it up in the air, and you're going to do just a little bit of maybe that same, that felt good, and you want to grab that, do that. But with the you can just go ahead and give it a little bit of a lift with some ankle wiggles. Flat back, lift your heart. Now, holding on to the strap with your right arm, can you take your left arm and reach it behind you? We're going to go opposite. Take a left hand to strap or 2 foot. Take your right arm, reach it behind you. From here, coming into a seated spinal twist. So right foot comes to the outside of your left knee. Remove that strap. Sit tall, and we find our twist to the left. Left hand plants behind your left hip, right hand comes to the outside of your left knee. Tall spine, and we twist. Draw your chin back. A little bit of subtle movements in your right arm can sometimes help you access some opening in your back. Gazing back to your left hand, and my left shoulder is just wanting to creep up into my ear. Can we push down with our armpit muscles, getting taller through the shoulder and neck spine here? Maybe rotate a little bit more. Going the opposite direction. We are 360 degrees today. Taking right arm high. You're going to reach that behind you. And from here, we're going to come into our goofy side plank. So your left foot is planted down to the ground, kind of at where your knee is. And you can either push high with your arms, building a little bone density there in right arm, or coming up onto your elbow. Either option. Maybe experiment with holding that high. Maybe experiment with moving that up and down. From here, we are going to twist onto our front line, and it's just going to put us right into our posterior capsule stretch. And if you didn't make it last time, you will this time. So 10 fingers come down, and you're just going to like zhoosh on both feet. And you'll end up with legs a little tangled, and that's where they should be. Crisscross legs. So your left knee is the one closer to your hands. Your right knee is behind you. And just sinking your hips forward and back here. I'm going to go ahead and just hike my way to midline on the mat. Checking to make sure that those blocks are right there to my left and my right. Breath in, breath out, taking left knee forward on your mat, coming into pigeon here. And I've got pigeon with a pointy wing, and that's okay. This wing is not parallel to the front of the mat. That's just fine. I'm not going super deep because we will be here again. So there'll be a chance for that in a moment. A little shimmy of your hips left and right. Breathe in, friends, and breathe out. Hands to the ground. Let's push our chest high here, getting some spinal extension. Draw your chin back, long, long, long spine in this pigeon. And then take left knee out to the side into a half froggy. Coming back down to the ground. You're going to bend and straighten your right leg. Bend and straighten, and then go into some windshield wipers. Taking that leg left and right, left and right. Long breath in and long breath out. Hands to the mat, pushing torso high again by hook or by crook. Come onto your right knee, left foot steps forward, coming into your low crescent, taking 10 fingers high, tucking tail under. I think we did movement first last time. So grab your blocks. You're going to sink your weight way forward. Belly is tight. Draw your chin back. Then maybe I said draw your chin back. I said that, but maybe we lift it up just a little bit. Squeeze shoulder blades together. Breath in. And then on exhale, sink your hips way back, finding a half splits. Find a figure eight of your left foot. I like to do my half splits with my right hip nearly over my right knee. Getting that 90-90 there and thinking about the heart. A little bit of cow spine as accessing that hamstring length. Sinking weight forward, forward again, coming into your low crescent Anjaneyasana. Hips come forward and then we shift them back. And definitely benefit of blocks to assist on this. Sinking hips way forward. And then sinking hips way back. Blocks off to the side. Taking your torso over to the right. 10 fingers down to the ground. Finding your kickstand quadruped. Find your cat cow here. Tuck and release your pelvis. It feels good to bend your knee and sink your weight way over to the left. Go ahead and do so. Arms to assist, coming down to the ground, coming down to frog pose. So in frog pose, easier to cue when my butt's not to the camera, but protracting the shoulder, pushing the ground away, and use those armpits to hike your back high, thinking cat spine. Toes pointing out. It's a little bit of a foot mobility exercise here. Sinking your weight forward and back. Breathing in and out. Torso comes tall. You're going to come, just tuck your left shin underneath you. Left shin tucks underneath you, coming into a mermaid. So left shin parallel with the front edge, right shin parallel with a, let's see here, left shin parallel with a long edge, right shin parallel with a short edge. There we go. Finding whatever you need. There's so many kind of lovely things and even activations, finding elevators if that's what serves you. And this mermaid sit for me, I'm going to put hands behind, picking up right leg, and eventually the left leg will follow. Just cycling through that several times, a few times. I'm here coming to the right, soles of both feet together, coming into cobbler's pose, flat back. And we hinge at the hips, coming forward. Bringing knees together, coming into our boat pose. Now, this is our only activation that we really have in this practice. So if you'd rather find a bridge pose right now, if you're thinking, I want to work my butt muscles, you go right ahead and you do that right here. Just trying to turn a little bit on here. Breath in and breath out. From here, you're going to bring your left leg down to the ground. Can you grab onto that strap? And you are going to just do maybe just a few kind of gas pedals into that strap, into that solid strap. You want to use your flexible strap, go right ahead. And again, not doing it in a zone where you're getting lots of whoa, just a little bit. From here, grabbing on with your left hand. Right hand's going to come behind you. Draw your chin back, gaze at your right fingertips. And then right hand will grab onto that strap. Left hand comes behind you. From here, seated spinal twist, right foot to the outside of your left knee. Take that strap, set it off to the side. Right hand goes behind you. And we'll find our seated spinal twist, tall spine, and we sink into it. Breath in and breath out. Taking your left hand high, you're going to reach that behind you, finding your counter twist here. Now, hot trick in your side plank, placing your hand right underneath your shoulder can help you really get some good leverage to come up into your side plank. That's an easier transition. If you're on your elbow, though, that works as well, too. From either version, maybe coming up and down twice, and then you're going to spin. You're going to crisscross your legs and get tangled up. You're keeping legs the same crisscross. You're just rotating your body, coming into your posterior capsule stretch, also called by me prone eagle. So your right knee is closer to your hands. Your left knee is crisscrossed behind you, sinking your weight forward and back here. Breathing in, breathing out. From here, coming into your pigeon, taking your right knee forward. And my pigeon wing is a little pointy. That's okay. Settling down to the ground. Breath in, breath out. Hands to push your torso tall before you move out of this pose. Let's draw your chin back and find a little bit of cobra back in our pigeon. Draw your chin back, arms to push your upper back a little bit more vertical. Breath in and exhale. Take your right foot out to the side, coming into your half froggy on the right. And your left leg is going to bend and straighten. And then windshield wiper. Straight legs, hands to either side of your rib cage. Put your torso tall. Come onto your left knee. Right foot will tuck underneath you, blocks to assist here. And come forward and back from our low crescent, sinking back into our half splits. Figure eight in your half splits, low crescent, and sink back. Low crescent, and sinking back. Abandoned blocks, rotating over to the left, 10 fingers down to the ground, coming into your kickstand quadruped with a little bit of cat cow here. And in your cat cow, let's not forget the shoulder blades. Let's not forget tucking tail under, protract your shoulders. And shoulder blades squeeze. Like if there's a grate, we could pop it as belly sinks, tucking our tailbone comes high. Now, if this is your medicine and you really want a little bit more time here, go ahead and take more time. Otherwise, if you're flowing with me, we're going to come into our frog pose. Taking your torso forward and back. Now, I'm doing this a little bit differently. So I'm not down on my elbows this time. I'm up high. And that is because of furniture. And it's okay to do it differently on one side versus the other. It's a bilateral pose. So basically, I'll do it on my elbows 2 times and I'll do it high 2 times. And there will be symmetry. Breathing in and breathing out. Taking right leg, you're going to tuck it underneath you. And I'm going to kind of cue this a little bit differently. So your right leg is going to tuck underneath you. So it's against the long edge of the mat here. Left leg will be against the short edge of the mat. Sinking your hips forward and back here. I think we were facing the left side before, but that's okay. It's the same pose. Hands come behind you. You're going to lift up your left knee. Eventually your right leg will follow. Lifting up your right leg, your left leg will follow. From here, we're going to transition into cobbler's pose, mat facing front of mat in just a moment. Bring the soles of both feet together, flat back, we hinge forward. Yeah. And breath out. Sitting tall, grabbing onto your strap. Actually, we're going to come into a boat pose first. Maybe going into a low boat. And here we are in our last half of the 4. Take your right leg long, strap to hold on to your left foot here. And you can come forward and back in this, and maybe a little bit up and down. Flat back here, chin to chest. Holding onto the strap, right hand, left hand reaches behind you. Gaze back at your left hand. And then we'll find the reverse. Left hand comes to strap, right hand comes behind. Taking the sole of the left foot to the outside of right knee, finding your seated spinal twist. So we'll twist to the left this time. Left hand plants, right elbow to the outside of left knee, tall spine, and we rotate into this. I appreciate you sticking with me and my goofy transitions as we go into our fourth time through this, taking right arm high, reaching behind, left hand's going to follow. Now, if you're feeling strong, you want to come into some side plank here and down. Maybe another side plank and down, another side plank. And then taking 10 fingers down to the ground, crisscrossing legs. So you're just rotating your pelvis here and then sinking back into your posterior capsule stretch. It really is a graceful transition. You're just literally, you're just rolling yourself over. But it looks a little awkward in my body. So maybe in yours too. It's all good. We'll survive. From here, eventually taking left knee forward, right leg straight behind, coming into your pigeon and settling in. Breath in and breath out. Ending spinal extension here once again. Hands come to the ground, pushing your chest high. Long torso spine here. Breath in, and we transition, taking left foot out into a half froggy, and right leg will find its uh, back and forth. And then right leg will find its windshield wipers. Breathing in and breathing out. Hands to the mat. Pushing torso high, come on your right knee. Left foot steps forward, hand blocks to either side of your left foot. Sinking weight forward, sinking weight way back, and find that half splits with the figure eight. Weight comes forward and back and forward and back. One more time, forward and back. Coming over to the right long edge of the mat. Finding your kickstand quadruped here. Tuck and release your pelvis. Bring your shoulders along with that into a cat cow. From here, finding your frog pose. Retracting shoulders, shifting weight forward and back. Inner thighs stretch. Bringing torso tall, you're going to tuck your left shin underneath. Coming into your merperson stretch or Z sit. Picking up one leg. Let the other leg follow and then going back. You can cycle through that as many times as you would like. From here, finding a cobbler's pose, facing front of mat. Flat back, hinging forward. Sitting tall, find your boat pose. I just need a little bit more length in my boat pose. So I'm going to do a scooching boat. There we go. Grabbing onto your strap as we have one more nerve flasting that needs to happen. So you're going to take your left leg down to the ground and maybe just a little bit of right leg since this is the end of our cycle. Back and forth here. And before we end our practice, it might be interesting to see where our mobility is at. So take both legs long and we hinge at the hips. And what does that forward fold feel like now? If you're a really investigative person, you might do a standing forward fold at the end of your practice. And what does that mean? Means, of course, nothing. The ability to bend forward more means you can bend forward more. That is it. If you can't bend forward more, it does not mean you're broken. But it is interesting to know because how much hamstring deep stretch did we do? Mm, I didn't cue any deep stretch. Did some half splits with some figure eights. Didn't have you breathe and surrender into that. It's all about the nerves today. Sitting tall, breath in, exhale, slow control coming all the way down to the mat. If you'd like to throw some deep stretch in, you can feel free to do that right now. You've got your strap to assist, but let's maybe instead bring your right knee up into your chest. Noticing your low back pushing down into the ground, finding a seated spinal twist, taking your right leg across your body over to the left, hitting that final maybe hip opening here. Breath in, breath out. Coming onto your back once again. Maybe bringing left knee up into your chest, curling up like a ball here. And then take your right leg straight out. Taking left knee across your body over to the right. And bringing both knees up into your chest. And if it feels good in your body, finding that happy baby. My goal here is often just to flatten that low back out, curling up your pelvis up towards your chest just a little bit more, getting as much real estate as we can, contacting that ground. From there, maybe a straight leg here, maybe inner thigh stretch, and eventually taking just one leg into your Shavasana. And once that leg is settled, belly tight as we take the second leg into Shavasana. And then you let it go, palms facing up, let your eyes float shut and settle in here. Breath in and breath out. Thank you so much for flowing with me today. Wish you a beautiful and joy filled day. Namaste, friends.